Let's do it.
Good to go?
Yeah, we're good to go.
All right. Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the Art of Losing Your Butt and Finding Your Why. I'm Doug.
Yeah, I'm Christy.
And this week it's springtime. So we're talking about seasonal foods. It's the spring edition. And just
The farmers markets are
the
opening.
farmers markets have all opened around here in Delaware. And it is for fresh local food from here on out. All kinds of new stuff coming out every week. Right now at the restaurant, asparagus is just starting to come on. And we just got local strawberries. They're just starting to come on as well.
Strawberry picking.
But the reason we wanted to bring this up is because, you know, if you're trying to eat healthy, there's no easier way than to shop local. Local produce is much, for me, tastes so much better most of the times. You know, like for us in Delaware, sweet corn, it just does not compare
Doesn't get any better than the corn
than
man.
local sweet corn around here in Delaware. And also you get a lot less processing of the foods. And, you know, personally, I feel like
Fresher.
much more fresh.
It's safer.
It's not
less
shipped,
chemicals.
less chemicals and pesticides for the most part. Around here, there's a lot of work, especially in the Sussex County area, because of the higher income areas. You're getting a lot more organic farmers, a lot more organic certified farms.
And now we're even getting a lot of the organic hydroponic growers.
Oh yeah, now we're getting hydroponic lettuce, butter lettuce, all kinds of great stuff is coming around here. You know, we already had a pretty good local produce variety in the summertime, but it seems like with some of the inventions of hot houses, hydroponics, and a lot of indoor grow houses, it seems like spring has gotten earlier, and the veggies have come on and fruits have come on much earlier, which is awesome. You know, it just makes it so much better because I'm sorry, for some reason, local cantaloupes and watermelons, when they come on later in the year, just taste so much better than something that's been shipped here from Florida on a truck for 2 weeks and then waited at the Walmart for 3 days for you to buy it.
Yep.
It's just something, it's so much, the local stuff comes out so much sweeter.
Like
you
we
know.
have the microgreens.
Oh yeah, microgreens.
Oh, I love microgreens.
Those are awesome.
And they're expensive in the store.
Oh, they can be very.
Microgreens are like, you know, almost $8 a pack.
Can be very expensive.
And I mean, you can go to one of the local farmers markets and get the local microgreens for, you know, a couple bucks a quart.
Oh yeah,
So,
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't beat it. You really can't. Because it's like things like that, like for instance, lettuce, hydroponic lettuce, microgreens. Those things are harvested and they're only good for so long.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were to get them from out of state or non-local, it would have to come in very quickly. And a lot of times they can't make that deadline. So it's not until
the longer they're cut, the more they lose their nutritional value.
Exactly.
So the quicker you get it from farm to mouth,
Yeah.
the more nutrition you got.
Right. And that's really, you know, the more nutritional value you can get out of all your vegetables and fruits, the better. You know, like for me personally, same thing, like strawberries. Local strawberries just taste sweeter. For us around here, we have Bennett's Orchards that do the peaches. They're not on yet, but they will be in another month or two. And their whole deal is they call them tree ripened peaches. They allow their peaches to ripen on the tree so that when they pick them, they're ready to eat. But that means you only have a very small window to eat them, like days. Like you have 2 days from the time they pick them or 3 days before they are, you know, going to be too ripe. But they are the sweetest, juiciest, best peaches you will ever eat in your life. But that's because they didn't, like, just to tell you a story of how tomatoes work. When you get tomatoes at Walmart that are from out of state, they pick those tomatoes from, say, Mexico, Texas, Florida, the southern areas. They pick those tomatoes when they're green. They're just not even turning red. They're green, maybe pink. And then they are sprayed on the truck. The whole truck is hosed down with ethylene gas, which is used, it's the same gas that if you ever put fruit inside of a bag and close it off, that ethylene gas is what ripens the fruit because it's put off by it. And if you trap the gas, your fruit ripens faster inside the bag. Same idea, they ship them from down south and then ripen them by artificially hosing them down with this chemical gas that allows them to ripen. And there's something about doing that they ripen unevenly, they ripen too quickly, and you end up with
That is
something
flavor.
that's looks pretty on the outside, like a big old red juicy tomato, but the inside's white. But if you wait another day, it's rotten in the middle. There's no in between. And for some reason, it's how
And
it
there are no
works. It's how they
flavors.
do it. And there's no flavor in the tomato. Exactly. And for me, when I don't taste flavor like in a tomato, I wonder what the nutritional value is, or if it's somehow lacking. I mean, I don't have any studies to back this up, but I somehow wonder if it's lacking some of the nutrients, some of the vitamins that may have been there otherwise,
Right.
by picking it unripe, and doing that process that way. Am I missing out on something? And it's something I wonder about. But to me, the flavor alone is a reason to go with the local stuff, even if it is a little bit more.
I have patients that I had, a couple years ago that will still bring me in those fresh on the vine tomatoes.
Oh my God.
And it's just like, okay, all I want is a sandwich,
Yep.
tomato sandwich.
That's what I was just thinking right there when you said that. Right now, all I want is a tomato sandwich.
Yep.
Yes.
Sounds so good.
It's dinner time. Now we're talking about food.
Yeah. We're talking about food.
Another one is asparagus. Asparagus is coming on right now. And in Delaware, a lot of places, there's some secret places around here where asparagus was grown in fields. And then after years later, they've planted other things there, say corn, soybeans, something else. But down the side of these roads, there is still that wild asparagus that grows every year.
We had that out in Colorado.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And very few people know about it. And if you ever happen across local, wild asparagus, please do yourself a favor and do me a favor. Don't pull it out of the ground. Use a pair of scissors and cut it at ground level.
Yep.
That way it'll grow back. If you take an asparagus plant, you cut it with scissors, it comes right back, and you cut it again and again and again throughout the summer. Yes, little tip for you. But there's something about local asparagus thrown on the grill. There's just a flavor to it that's so much better than stuff that's been shipped in from out of state. And for me, the farmers markets allow these small farmers and these small town folks that are putting all their time into this. It's giving back to them. And anytime you can support the small local businesses, I feel like you should, if you can afford to.
Yeah.
Granted.
I gotta admit though, around here, it's not much more. I mean, normally I find it cheaper than going to the grocery store.
Yeah, it's not putting you out. I mean, there's a few, just for instance, the peaches are a little bit more expensive, but it's not so much. Just for instance, say at our local grocery store, peaches go on sale for 99 cents a pound. And at Bennett's Orchards, you might buy a 5-pack of peaches in a quart container for maybe $6 or $7. Comes out to about $1.25 a peach. But I'll tell you what, every one of those peaches will be absolutely perfect. And if it isn't, and you go back to them and show them where the peach wasn't perfect, they will make it right, because they know that what they're selling for the price, it's going to be perfect, and they're going to make sure of it. And there's some kind of quality behind that. That's why I mentioned Bennett specifically, because their peaches to me have always been absolutely top notch. I mean, it's one of my favorite things to come on in the summertime here in Delaware, right up there with sweet corn.
Yeah, and the other thing though too is going to the farmers markets. It's not just the farmers too.
No, there's all kinds of vendors.
I'm going to go ahead and give a shout out to Backyard Jams and Jellies.
Yeah.
She's a fellow gym goer with us, a friend of mine from there. But they have a crazy line of sugar-free jellies and jams, which you can't find in a grocery store.
No.
And then they also have, just some of the craziest flavors that are so good, regular and sugar-free. Yeah. It gives you a lot more options.
Definitely.
And that's one of the things that I found when I first started my journey, was going to these farmers markets. I found more quality goods that were healthier, sugar-free items.
Definitely.
Things like that. My first cauliflower bread came from a local baker down this way.
Yep.
And it was really good, Cloud bread. Never had that. Now I know how to make it, but they were selling it there.
Any kind of bread.
Yeah.
If you want any kind of bread and you find a baker at a farmer's market, I guarantee you will be in love. And once you've tried Homemade bread. I'm so sorry, but it's going to ruin it for you. It's one of those things. It's kind of like these peaches for me, or the local scallops that come in. Once I've tried them, I'm like, you know what? This is just too good. Same with the bread. Same deal for me. Once I found a good bread.
We have a couple, once we go to the place, we've got a couple bakeries right here in town.
Oh, yes.
And we also have the ones that come to and they have, these high count grain breads and stuff.
Oh, yes.
Which, you know what, if you're going to eat the carbs, go with something that's high in fiber, high full grain. Yeah. Your gut will appreciate it.
That's actually why you just caught me chuckling, because I was thinking when she was talking about breads in between our sentences there, I was thinking of this local baker at the farmer's market, because the place I work for, Patty's, we did the farmer's market for a couple years. And we, of course, as a vendor, you always go around and you support all the other vendors, and people trade things. Like we would trade some of our chicken salad for the baker made these homemade Pop-Tarts with fresh fruit. And it was like a jumbo sized Pop-Tart, but homemade with like a dough and icing that was put on top. And they were the best thing on this earth. But what I was thinking about when she said that was they made a 21 grain bread that was so good. And we were joking about it because next to the bread people was the tomato lady. And she right. And I bought a loaf of 21 grain bread, and I bought half a dozen red ripened tomatoes. And I ate an entire loaf of bread out of tomato sandwiches. That's just what I made it, was tomato sandwiches for lunch and dinner for a couple days. And it was fine with me. It was delicious. Our homemade BLT, yes.
But I try to stay away from bacon because it is so fatty.
Yeah.
But I'm not normally one for any of the vegan meats or anything.
Yeah.
But I got to admit, the vegan bacon from, what is it, Star something or other.
Oh, I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, Star Farm. But I got to admit, it smells like bacon. And it tastes like a crispy bacon.
Oh, see, that's delicious.
Like crunchy, crispy bacon.
Yes.
Cooked up properly. So I do keep that in my freezer because you can just pull out
what you want.
That you need.
Right.
Right.
Cook it as needed.
And then put it on your sandwich. And
yes.
So, yeah, that is a thing. And that a lot of times during the summer, the BLT, and I'll throw some cooked egg whites on it. Up the protein.
Yeah.
And there you go. That's a quick meal.
Yeah, I will. You're talking about my kind of food right there. In the summertime, I swear to you, if you, like, just for instance, at our local farmer's market, there's a butcher there. They do their own beef and pigs. So they do have homemade smoked bacon there. And again, a luxury, but 21 grain bread or 12 grain bread. The lady who sells the butter lettuce, the hydroponic butter lettuce is there, or excuse me, the local guy. Buy ahead of that, a couple tomatoes, and make yourself a homemade BLT. And it's all grown within 15 miles of you, 20 miles of you. And it's the best you can ever have.
Oh, that's like the sausage, what is it, Ewan's Farms?
Oh, yeah.
Some of their sausage, I mean, when I want sausage, that's a good place to go.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
So right now in our area, asparagus has just come on. Strawberries are just starting to come on.
The corn is only about this big.
Yeah, the corn's just coming out of the ground now, so we got a little while left for that. Cantaloupes and watermelons are still ways off, those sorts of things. But I like it that it all doesn't come on at the same time, because it means I get to enjoy what's coming on and what's coming up next.
Right.
It's not like everything comes on at the same time and I'm stuck trying to eat watermelon, cantaloupe, sweet corn, all of it at the same time.
Or zucchini and yellow squash.
Squash and zucchini are coming up now. Tomato plants are coming up now. We just put ours in last week, our tomato plants, because we have a little home garden. Talking about farmers markets, also, if you have a little plot of land or you got room on your property, consider putting a little vegetable garden in. You would be surprised how therapeutic it is just to get out there and work outside for maybe an hour a day, 30 minutes every other day. You don't even have to worry about, raised bed, and it's very minimal maintenance. You just got to water it. And most of the times the rain takes care of that for you.
This year it would. And
we've gotten plenty of rain around here. But yeah, it's awesome. Springtime veggies are the best for me.
My dad grew veggies.
Yeah.
My entire
I've always had a garden.
And now they're in a condo and can't do that. So for Father's Day, I already made up my mind. I'm getting him one of the patio tomatoes.
Yeah.
So
And
they
the
get
planter.
little grape tomatoes, but they're really yummy. They're real sweet and everything.
Yes.
So I'm getting that for their porch.
Oh,
So he can tend that and.
that's cool.
Yeah.
We had a friend of ours that got a hanging basket of strawberry plants.
Oh.
It's like a hanging basket, but it has holes cut out on it with strawberry plants in it. And then the strawberries just kind of fall down. They just drape out of there and grow. And you can hang it out on the porch, on a patio somewhere. And it was awesome. It worked out really well. I was surprised. And trim it back at the end of the year, store it away. Next spring, water it again, start to come back again. But that was awesome to me. But my boss does tomatoes in her garden, and she grows these black Krim tomatoes that are this really dark purple, almost black skin color, and they are some of the best tomatoes I've ever had.
There's such a diversity of. I like the ugly tomatoes.
Yeah.
That's
my dad's thing. He always grew Rutgers because a lot of tomato plants you have to stake them up for them not to fall over and die. But Rutgers are a ground tomato. They were always a field tomato. They didn't need to be staked up, so you could plant a whole field of them, and that allows them to lay on the ground, which means you get one side that's a little dirty, a little off-colored, and they're a little ugly. But they're some of the best tomatoes. They really are.
Yeah. So. But yeah, I mean, it's time to, and I encourage you to go out and explore your local farmers markets.
Yeah. You meet all kinds of new people.
Not only is it cool to meet the people that are providing food, but also you get your exercise, you get some fresh air.
Yeah.
It's a win-win situation.
You do 2 laps around the farmers market. You walked a mile. You've met 20 new people that you never met before. A lot of times you get some of the best deals ever. If you happen to be there near the close of a farmer's market, and there's still stuff left. Like say you get there late one day, and the farmer's market ends at noon. You walk in at 11:45. Some of those people are saying, you know what? If you want to buy our asparagus, buy 2, get another bunch for free.
Yep.
And I've had that happen a dozen times to me. A lot of times where, these local farmers, they don't want it to go to waste. They don't want to just trash it or try to eat it all themselves. A lot of times, and even just throughout the course of the farmer's market, if you buy something, a lot of times, you'll find an extra one in there. And that to me it's a better deal than the grocery store. You're getting a better flavor. The price is comparable. Sometimes it's even beating the grocery stores. Yeah. At least here, like for instance, asparagus in the store is $4.99 a bunch at Walmart. And I can get local asparagus
more than that if you go to Fresh Market.
$3, $4. Yeah, if you go to Fresh Market, God forbid, you're paying $6, $7 a bunch for asparagus. For a rubber band bunch, which I think is about a pound or so. But and you can get local asparagus for $3.99. Sometimes you can get even better deal than that. And for me, there's nothing better than grilled asparagus this time of year. With anything, I'll have grilled asparagus for breakfast.
God, you sound like Gary.
I've always.
Is it a chef thing?
It's a joke because it's even funnier for me because I was the person who hated vegetables my entire life up until a couple years ago, maybe 5, 10 years ago. Anything green, I didn't want it. Lettuce I could do. Broccoli I could do if you couldn't see the broccoli through the cheese. And that was about it. Peas, maybe if they were in chicken pot pie, that was about it. But again, I was also 440 pounds, so keep this all in mind. And I went to my boss's house. I was cooking as a chef at the time. I would cook it for people, loved to cook it, but never ate it, never liked it. And she wanted to cook off some steaks, and she wanted me to grill off some asparagus. And she was a little afraid of the grill flaring up on her, so she had me do it. And I grilled off 2 pounds of asparagus for us for dinner. And for whatever reason, one of the little stems or one of the stalks was in there, was small, got cooked first, and I just picked it up and took a bite of it. And I don't know if they say your taste buds change every so many years. Something must have happened to mine, or maybe I hadn't had maybe I'd always had asparagus from the can. And it was mushy, because texture is a big thing for me. But something about biting into a piece of asparagus that was grilled with that salt, pepper, lemon juice, a little bit of olive oil, nothing crazy, and just grilled until it was a little bit black on the outside, but still had a little crunch to it. I'm not even kidding you when I say I sat there at their dinner table and I ate a pound of asparagus. One whole bunch of asparagus. I didn't eat the steak. I sat there and I kept eating asparagus. And I was like, I think I like asparagus now. And they cracked up, and it's become this big joke ever since. They're like, hey, Mikey, I think he likes it. Because I really I had a whole ribeye on my plate, and I'm just sitting there eating asparagus just right off the serving plate. And yeah, I would always say try it. If it's been a while since you tried something, give it a shot again. You might be surprised. I know I was, and I still am to this day. Found out that I like all kinds of things that I never would have thought. Like Brussels sprouts, I swore them off 25 years ago that I would never touch another Brussels sprout. Now, I love them. Mm-hmm. Try them a different way is what I would suggest. Roasted. Oven roasted or pan roasted, you'd be surprised. Again, I always had them whole when they were mushy. For me, texture was probably a lot of it. I didn't realize that when things were mushy, I just didn't like the squish, you know. But when there's a little bit of a char to them, or they still got a little crunch to them, I love it.
Well, it was funny because with the asparagus thing, Gary's the same way.
Yeah.
He loves asparagus.
Oh my gosh.
So that before he and I started dating, we were just friends. I was taking him home from the gym one day, and he's like, "Can we stop off at this store?" And I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah.
And he's like, "I need asparagus." Well, he went in and got cans. I guess it was on sale, and he comes out with a case of damn asparagus.
A case?
Yes. He goes, "I'm in heaven now," and he puts it in my car. I'm like,
"Oh my!"
Okay. You really like asparagus, and it's canned, and I can't stand canned asparagus.
Yeah, I don't know if I could do it. I don't know if I could do it.
And I don't. Yeah. I like fresh.
Too mushy.
I like fresh.
Same.
And I grew up in Colorado where it would grow wild.
Yeah.
Ditches.
Wild asparagus.
And my mom would be like, hand me this little knife as a kid and go collect some asparagus.
Go cut some asparagus down. That's awesome. Also, something to keep in mind when you're doing all this and these things are coming on this year and you're interested in them. I know a lot of people are going to think fruits, carbs, bad. I'm trying to stay away. Fresh fruits aren't bad. You know, again, it's like everything in moderation. I wouldn't suggest you drinking a 30-ounce glass of orange juice every day, but you eating a couple strawberries or a fresh navel orange.
Actually, strawberries,
it makes a huge difference. It's a big difference there.
There's a huge amount of fiber,
yes.
Natural fiber. There's a huge amount of antioxidants in them. Eat the berries. Enjoy the berries.
Oh, yeah. Vitamins.
All the berries, the blueberries, all of them. And watermelon, cantaloupe, you know, fine.
Yeah.
Your apples, your peaches, your nectarines. Guess what? They all got a lot of fiber in them.
Yeah.
And those carbs are not bad.
I know a lot of people panic, you know, because they're trying to. A lot of people go low sugar, or you know, they're trying to go keto, or they're trying to stay away from all sugars. And a lot of people learn to associate that sugar equals bad, carbs are bad. But in this case,
they're only 35 calories.
Right.
And full of fiber.
Right. Yeah. You know, a little bit here and there is not going to hurt you. You know, I'm not saying to go out there and eat 3 pounds of strawberries or eat an entire watermelon. I'm just saying if you have a couple slices of watermelon with dinner one night, it's not going to hurt you. It really isn't.
Actually, during the summer, eating watermelon is not that bad of an idea because it actually helps rehydrate you.
It's going to hydrate you. Yeah. Makes a huge difference. Yep. Definitely. Well, folks, that's all we got. Consider shopping local. Check out your farmers markets. If you have any questions, comments, please put them below. Please like, share, subscribe. And thanks for tuning in. We got it right that time. And we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening.